Right, we've got a full tank, 4 jerry cans of petrol in the back. That should be enough.
More than enough.
Greg, Jenny.
Oh, dear.
She doesn't give up, does she?
Think about what you're doing. This is reckless and monstrously dangerous.
Everyone had a vote, Abby. It's decided. We need to check out the towns.
But London?
We're not going into London.
We'll go no further than the outskirts. We may not even get that far if we find what we want on the way.
You know what the towns are like. There's disease.
Abby, we don't know for sure. That's the whole point.
All we've heard are second-hand accounts.
Paul was in London. He said there were snipers shooting people for cigarettes.
Months ago. And like we said, we're not going into the city.
But we have to find new supplies of food and fuel and materials. And if there are any pickings left, they'll be in the towns. I mean, there was so much before. There has to be a chance that it's not all been scavenged.
We do all right trading with Little Barton.
I don't know. Since our food store was flooded, their man Bowyer has been driving some pretty hard bargains.
If this turns out to be a wasted effort, then so be it. But at least we'll have tried.
And you'll have squandered much of our petrol in the process.
We still have more than 400 gallons left.
We started with 1,000.
Then we need to find more, don't we?
Abby, please, let's not part on an argument.
I'm clearly not going to talk you out of it. But please, promise me you'll be careful. You're literally my oldest friends in the world. I don't want anything to happen to you.
We promise.
We'll only be gone a few days, maybe a week. And next time you see us, that trailer will be piled high with goodies.
I'll be happy to see you both back safe.
We'll try and remember to send you a postcard. Bye, Abby.
Bye, Abby.
Bye.
Bugger!
Yeah, Daniel, sums it up. You missed your target. But well done, you killed a wall.
I'm not good with guns.
Yeah, it shows. But I think I know where you're going wrong. Point your finger at the dummy.
You're teaching me to shoot with my finger.
How about I tell you to do something and you do it?
Okay. There. How am I doing so far?
Look at where you're pointing and shut your right eye. And then switch to your left eye.
Okay. Oh.
What do you see?
When I shut my right eye, my finger's pointing at the dummy. When I shut my left eye, it's off to one side.
Everyone has a dominant eye. Yours is the left. Pointing is aiming, so when you shoot, you have to use your left eye or you'll be off. You're right-handed, so stands to reason you've used your right eye up until now.
Clever. If it works.
Take another aim shot at the dummy. Left eye this time.
Where did you learn to shoot, Fiona?
On a farm. Farmer's son taught me. Get the stock in tighter to your shoulder. Come on, we're not doing this for fun.
I noticed.
Remember, line up the rear sight and the front sight. Squeeze the trigger. Better.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I said better, not good.
Fiona?
Jackie?
James wants to see you. He's in the storeroom.
Lesson over.
Fine by me.
Take the gun back to the armoury.
She's a stroppy one.
Don't judge her, Daniel. She's had some bad experiences.
We've all had bad experiences.
Fiona's had some really bad experiences.
All right, everyone. We rest here. And listen in. We've come a long way, and I know you're tired, but we have to stay alert. Most importantly, no wandering off.
That's fine.
Far as it goes. Trouble is, I need a pee.
If you need a pee, you go in pairs and you tell someone where you're going. Yes, you go in pairs. Don't look at me like that, Jim.
Fair dues.
Good stuff. Okay, I'll dish out the food rations. We'll spend a couple of hours here, gather our strength, then we'll have a look around. The shops here look gutted, but you never know.
Sergeant, I'm scared.
Oi. I told you, Jane, it's not Sergeant or Officer, it's Phil. Okay?
Phil.
And don't be scared. I've kept all of you alive this long, haven't I? It's been tough. We've had some scrapes, but we've done it. I'm proud of you.
Right, these boxes are all tinned foods. Stack them over there with the rest. Gas bottles, under there.
Ain't been in here for a while.
Hello, Fiona, my little ferret. All right, you two, that's all for now. Out you go. Fiona, pull the door closed, would you?
Close it. Why?
Oh, my dear, I'm sorry. Of course. Pull it closed or leave it open. I just wanted a private word. Oh, thank you for that. Very much. Yes, you're my little ferret. Finding food and supplies. So resourceful. You've also helped to keep us secure.
Everyone does their bit.
But not everyone understands like you and me. We've both trusted and been betrayed. We know that to survive in this new world requires harsh methods.
Sometimes, maybe.
And trust must be earned. As I believe I've earned your trust, or you wouldn't have closed that door. And in return, I'd like to demonstrate my trust in you by giving you the occasional special task.
Special task?
I need good people. When you came here, I saw a lot of promise in you, and you haven't disappointed. You're good with a gun, and you've got a brain. You're the right person to knock our people into shape and do what's necessary to keep us safe. Because you know what a dangerous world it is out there. Don't you?
She was attacked.
What happened?
She was working on a farm in the West Country when the plague came. Usual story, she was the only one left alive. Her brother had moved to London years back and she decided to come and see if he'd survived.
Unlikely.
On the way, she was robbed, had her car taken off her at gunpoint. She walked to London, 120 miles. And she found her brother dead in his Brixton flat.
Poor girl.
There was this group, 5 young men, who found her in the flat and attacked her. Then they took her to another flat, locked her in a room, left her for a couple of days.
You say they attacked her?
They raped her. And they would have done again, but when they came back, she escaped by jumping from a 3rd-floor window.
Bloody hell.
So you can't blame her for being a little abrupt.
No.
Not everyone here pulls their weight.
There's definitely some as could do with a shake-up. Daniel Connor, for one. I was just with him, trying to improve his shooting.
He's been getting mouthy recently. You know, when we were discussing the importance of repopulation, he claimed to be infertile.
I heard.
Pack of lies, I'm sure of it.
Some people don't like being told to breed.
When is your next patrol?
Going out after lunch.
Take Connor with you. Make him work. I need to know if he can follow instructions.
And if he can?
I won't carry passengers here. There's a struggle ahead. Every single person must contribute 100%. We cannot afford, and I will not tolerate, anyone who doesn't.
Okay.
Keep at him. I don't want to lose someone without good cause. More than that, we need to increase our numbers.
There's still stragglers out there looking for a home.
Not many of the sort we want. We need new blood. But we still have to be on our guard from the thieves and scavengers.
We just passed through Thatcham. If we continue on the A4, it'll take us into Reading.
I'm going to get onto the M4 before then, and then head towards London.
London?
Towards London, not into it. Now, I want to see what there is around Heathrow.
Oh, well, if you say so.
Just think of it as a pleasant drive in the country.
Yes, we're just popping to the shops.
Second exit at this roundabout?
Yes, second exit.
Well, maybe I should speed up a bit. You want to get there before the shops shut?
Oh, it's all right. It's Thursday. It's late night closing.
Put the books down there, would you?
I can't get used to you being the community librarian. Just here, was it?
Yes, thanks. On the table. I'll sort through, catalogue them. Books are powerful. They contain knowledge that could be vital to rebuilding our society.
Like how to improve your backhand.
Huh?
A history of tennis.
Some books are more powerful than others.
So, Jackie, you're okay, yeah?
Fine. Thank you. There's no need to worry about me anymore. I never thanked you properly, did I?
Oh, you don't need to thank me.
Of course I do. I was a mess when you found me. My head was all over the place. If you hadn't made me come with you, if I'd stayed in that house with...
Yeah, let's just see how it works out here before you start thanking me.
But it's good here. Good enough, anyway.
How long can we last skulking in a fortified retreat? Living on what we can scrounge from the local area and a few homegrown vegetables?
It's working for now.
James Gillison has drawn people here because in a time of chaos and fear, he looked like a man with a plan. Gather together, strength in community, blah, blah. But what if he's wrong?
What's the alternative?
We could leave, we could... Someone's coming. We'll talk later.
Daniel, have this. Come on, you're joining my foraging patrol. It's loaded. Try not to shoot any wolves.
Funny.
Let's go.
Coming.
Be careful.
I'll be fine. We'll strut around for 2 hours, find nothing and nobody, maybe take a pot shot at a wild dog, then come back.
I envy you going outside, though. James hasn't let anyone but the patrols go out. Had you noticed?
I noticed, all right. See you in a bit, Jackie.
Bye.
All right, get ready to move out. Doesn't look like there's any pickings round here. We'll carry on westward. We're bound to come across... Hang on, where's Jane? Jane? Anyone seen her?
No, I haven't seen her.
What did I say? No one goes off on their own. Jane? Jane!
It's a car. I've seen a car for ages.
Quiet a minute. It stopped. Came from over there, behind the cinema. Come on, be careful. They may not be friendly.
Yeah, this'll do nicely.
What is it, a workshop?
There's a lock-up. There's a kind of workshop, yeah. Might have been used as a garage. There's oil on the floor.
And we're going to leave the Land Rover here?
Looking round on foot will be more discreet than driving if there are any unpleasant types around. We'll check out those shops and the supermarket we saw, and if there's nothing, we'll move on.
Yeah, as long as we don't come across anyone like Huxley and his thugs.
Amen to that. Come on.
Will the Land Rover be safe?
It had better be. It's a long walk back to the Grange.
Hey! Hello!
Greg, be careful.
If you can't trust a policeman. Hello! Are you well?
Yes, we're all well. You?
Yeah. You're a policeman?
I don't know if the office of constable is recognised now, the way things are, but I find the uniform helps reassure people. I was a sergeant in the Met. Phil Bailey.
Greg Preston. This is Jenny.
Jenny Richards. Hello.
Have you come from London?
Yes, it's bad. If you're heading that way, don't.
No, we're not going to London.
Your car's in there, is it? Sorry, look, we're not a threat.
You've got a handgun.
Which I'm keeping in its holster. You're carrying a rifle. Be fair.
Are you staying somewhere around here?
No, no. I'm forgetting this lot into the countryside. What about you?
Oh, but we've just come from the countryside.
Jenny.
Why shouldn't we tell them?
You're a lot more trusting than your friend, love. Look, this is how it is. I was in London. It's a disease-ridden death trap. I'm heading out to the country, and I've been gathering stragglers. It's not been easy.
What was that?
Jane!
Stay where you are.
Stay still.
Jane?
One of us! She's in trouble! Come on!
Greg?
All right, let's go.
Keep your hands up. Up!
I am!
You know what we do with thieves round here?
Please. The house was empty, the door was open. I saw these coats. It gets cold at night. I just wanted a coat.
Daniel, keep your gun on her. Watch her.
Hey, what are you doing?
You lot, stop there. Put the gun down.
How about you stop pointing yours at my friend?
All right, everybody calm down.
Are you with the Hatton Cross group?
We're not with any group.
Fiona, this is stupid.
What's happened?
She was stealing from one of our places.
Hang on. Is that you, Jenny?
Oh, it's Daniel, isn't it?
You know each other.
Well, we met briefly when I was leaving London.
Who is she?
She's not dangerous, Fiona. Can we calm down now?
Look, I'm lowering my gun, okay?
Okay.
We're just passing through. We'd no idea this was your place. If you say so, that's fine. No argument, but we didn't know.
Are you really a policeman?
Or is that uniform something else you've picked up on the way?
I'm really a policeman.
Fiona, we should let them get on their way. They're no trouble.
No. You're all coming with us. Put your guns on the ground and get in a line.
Everyone, you should do as she says. Everyone, Greg.
Jenny and I aren't under your orders.
Nobody here is under my orders. You can do what you like. But it might be best if she thinks we're all one group. Also, this community of theirs is worth a look.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Relax.
Greg?
Well, we'll go along. For now, at least.
Good. Now move. That way.
Fiona, there's no need for this.
Gillison can decide what to do with them. Pick up their guns and follow on.
A police sergeant. He could have useful skills. They're outside?
Daniel and the others are keeping an eye on him.
All right. Bring them in. I know how I'll play this. Follow my lead.
Yeah, of course. Bring him in!
You're the man in charge, are you?
James Gillison. Nice to meet you. And all of you, please accept my apologies for this.
We're free to go.
Well, you're not prisoners. A misunderstanding only.
A misunderstanding? We've been held at gunpoint, led here under
We
duress.
protect our area, but only from those who wish us harm or who knowingly steal from us. Not from innocents passing through. You weren't to know.
What on earth gives you the right to claim these streets for yourselves? There are people struggling to survive everywhere.
Jenny, calm down.
I will not calm down.
Greg's right. Jenny, please.
I understand your anger. Jenny, is it? May I call you Jenny? But we are all finding different ways of surviving after the plague. This community has its own way.
And what is your way?
To supply, fortify, and when it comes to it, defend ourselves in order to prosper. We also look for others suitable to join us.
Suitable?
Those who can actively contribute to the community and its survival.
And sod everybody who can't? The weak? The old?
You're too harsh. We have links to similar groups. For instance, there's a community at Hatton Cross that we trade with.
We give them clothes and stuff mainly in exchange for food. They have more livestock than us.
We have a trade tomorrow, in fact.
So you're not self-sustaining?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, what's your model?
Look, let's discuss this over a meal. Shall we? Are you hungry?
We haven't eaten properly for days.
I'm fine.
Really?
We'd be grateful for a meal, yes.
Excellent. We can get to know each other a little better.
Thank you for sharing your meal with us.
The least we could do to make it up to you.
Nice piece of mutton. I was tempted by the beef.
Yeah, same. Delicious.
Well, I'm glad you followed my recommendation. Now, tell me, how long have you all been together?
Well...
Greg and Jenny joined us a couple of weeks ago. The rest must have been with me for a month.
You've been making your way out of London for a month.
We had a few close calls. We had to lie low at times, and I was looking around for others to join us on the way. London isn't a good place for anyone these days. The countryside's where we stand the best chance of moving forward, free from disease, rats and violence.
Well, you're out of the city now. You and your people could stay here.
If we're going to feed ourselves, we need to get back to the land.
We have vegetable gardens in the grounds.
It'll take more than a vegetable garden.
Your friends look happy to be here, in the warm, being fed, not struggling through the streets towards some vague rural utopia.
It's not vague.
It's a good life here, or as good as it can be these days.
I don't think so.
Well, I think you should let your people choose for themselves.
What happened to you after we left you, Jenny?
Oh, well, a lot of things, really.
You're not with that policeman and his mates, are you?
What makes you say that?
When we left you, you were heading west. We dropped you by the M4.
I remember you were talking about going to Wiltshire.
So, how would you come to be part of a ragtag bunch that's walking out of London?
Well, I decided...
Jenny, it's fine. We won't tell.
You didn't have the best introduction to our community. Don't blame you for wanting to keep information back.
What's it like here?
It's all right.
No, it isn't. And it gets less all right all the time.
What do you mean?
Daniel.
We're secure, and we're well supplied, for now. But Gillison's obsessed with fortifying this place against an outside world that he is convinced wants to attack us.
There are dangerous people out there.
There are, in parts. We've met some. But most people just want to rebuild and survive and get on.
Where did you go to, Jenny?
I met Greg soon after I left you. And then Abby, she's another friend. And then a little while ago we found this empty country house. We've made our own community there. It's small, about 10 of us. Nothing like this.
And it's good there?
It's a struggle, like everywhere, I suppose. We had some bad luck recently. A flood wiped out most of our food supplies. That's why Greg and I are here, really.
Greg's with you, then?
Yes. We wanted to see if there were any pickings left in the towns. Food, petrol.
Don't let James hear you say that. He'd take a dim view of someone from an organised community coming here on the scavenge.
We better keep our voices down. People are looking.
Have you heard anything about what's happening everywhere else?
Well, when the plague came, I was in Holland working on a land reclamation project. When I flew back, came down the coast, I saw enough to know that what we've experienced in Britain is likely to be the same across the world.
You flew?
I took one of the company helicopters.
And what did you see?
Rotterdam in flames. There are about half a dozen oil refineries there. One or more of them must have gone up.
Fire is a great purifier, clearing out disease and infection. The decaying dead.
Well, all I know is that it looked like a corner of hell.
Poetic descriptions aside, you could be very useful to us, Greg. A helicopter pilot.
Useful?
We have access to a helicopter. 3, in fact, at Heathrow Airport, so not far. One of our patrols found them parked near the cargo terminal.
You want me to fly one for you?
We know this area well, but we need to know what's happening elsewhere. In London and in other towns and cities in the southeast. And it would take months to do that on the ground, but with a helicopter, days, or even weeks.
Helicopters need maintenance every time they fly.
Imagine if you helped us map where these other communities have gathered. We could establish a trading and support network with them within weeks.
A network?
We have to get connected to become organized.
It's not a viable long-term plan without maintenance and servicing.
Not long-term. Once we know where these communities are, that would be enough.
I can see the value in it.
There, Greg, your friend agrees.
Yes. Look, okay, I'll have a look at these helicopters, but I'm not promising anything.
Excellent. It's getting dark. Fiona can take you there in the morning with a couple more of our people.
Glad to.
You see? Together, we can achieve a great deal. Muster our skills and experience. Oh, this is a happy day. Welcome.
Greg, are you sure about this?
I won't be flying anything unless I'm sure it's airworthy. But Gillison could be right. You know, with a helicopter, we might get a good idea where the other communities are. And I like his idea of forming a network of groups.
I don't like him, and I wish we could leave.
It might be easier said than done. Besides, I think we should give it a few days, see what this community's like, see if it has legs.
Then stay here. Don't go to Heathrow. There must be so many dead bodies there.
Yeah, but they're in the passenger terminals in the centre. Where we're going is next to the cargo terminal, on its own on the south side. No disease there.
Let's get on with it. Daniel, isn't it?
That's right. And this is Eddie.
I'll do.
Their protection if we run into trouble. You two, get in. Open the gates, we're going out!
Be careful!
If I fly over, I'll give you a wave.
Bye!
Has he gone? I wanted to see him off.
Do you think this is a good idea, Phil?
Mapping the communities to bring us together is a good idea, if that's what Gillison is about.
What do you mean?
I've been speaking to his people. Gillison's got this lot scared of their own shadows. He doesn't trust any other group out there, so if he does want to find out where they all are, I wouldn't bet it's for anything as altruistic as starting a mutual aid system.
There don't seem to be any bodies.
The cargo terminal was closed off early on. There weren't more than a few security guards by the end.
The passenger terminal's over there, though. They were full. I dread to think what it's like in there now.
Then don't. The helicopter's around the back here.
What was it like, being a policeman when this was happening?
All leave was cancelled early on. We were meant to do the thin blue line thing, standing in for the fire brigade and ambulance service, but of course we were losing people as fast as they were. Our own reserves fell over. In the end, people just went home. I did.
To be with your family?
My wife and kids. But I left it too late. They were already...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Do you think you might stay here?
No, not long term. This Gillison bloke, I can smell a wrong'un, and he's a wrong'un.
So you're going to leave?
Well, I'll stay for a bit until my group decides what to do. Hopefully they'll come with me. What about you and Greg?
We have our home with our friends. We won't be staying here.
Sounds like a good setup of this country house of yours.
It's not bad. I'm sure if you wanted to join us, you'd be very welcome.
Oh, I might just take you up on that.
Mind if I join you?
Jackie? Yeah, of course.
Thank you. We've not been introduced. I'm Jackie.
Phil, nice to meet you.
Are you really a policeman?
Well, that's becoming a catchphrase. Yes, I really am a policeman.
Do we still have police?
No, we don't. Law and order is gone.
There are no laws?
Well, there's no justice system. The world we live in now, people will judge what's right and what's wrong, and if it's wrong, what punishment it deserves. Only trouble is, those people doing the judging, some of them you wouldn't want to be judged by.
They might get it wrong.
Or apply their own standards according to their own prejudices and self-interest.
No law.
It's chaotic at the moment. But at some point in the future, we are going to have to come up with a code of conduct, call it laws if you like, that will give us stability, security. Anything else is just ruled by who's got the biggest gun.
We could write this code of conduct now. It's about doing what's right.
Well, it's not that easy. Before, when we had these reams of statutes, even basic crimes weren't straightforward to define. Take theft, for example. Imagine you're writing a law for theft. Page 1. What's theft?
But taking something that doesn't belong to you.
Sounds reasonable. What do you think, Jackie?
Well, yes, taking something that doesn't belong to you.
But I could take that table knife of yours, cut up this meat and give it back to you. It doesn't belong to me. Would I have stolen it?
Well, no.
No. The definition of theft was the dishonest appropriation of property belonging to another with the intention of permanently depriving the other of it. Section 1, Theft Act 1968. There are 5 elements in that definition, and they all had to be there for someone to be guilty of theft.
Are you a policeman or a lawyer?
Bread and butter to every copper. But my point is, if you say stealing is just taking something that doesn't belong to you, next thing you know, we're all guilty. We had laws that ensured honest behaviour wasn't criminalised and punished. They're gone now.
Obviously some things are still just wrong. Like murder.
You're still thinking in the old ways. Murder, unlawful killing. But what's unlawful?
Life is precious. Maybe now, with so few of us, life has never been more precious. Maybe taking a life, whatever the circumstances, is a worse thing than ever.
Can we talk about something else?
Jackie, are you okay?
Jackie, Mr. Gillison wants you. He needs help in the infirmary.
What's wrong?
People are falling ill.
Take your pick.
They look in good nick.
This one in particular. This is a Bell 212. Modern, strong. And with twin engines, so if one fails, the other might get you home.
You can fly this.
Oh, I can fly it, all right. Let's have a closer look. Looks good. Full tank's near enough. Pilot's logbooks here. Yeah, ideal. Service after its last flight.
What do you think?
The batteries charged, avionics, hydraulics and mags are good. Anywhere you'd like to go on a trial flight?
I don't know.
How about Twyford? Not too far, near Reading. I used to live there. It's a fair-sized town. There's a good chance there are survivors there.
Twyford it is then. In you get.
You heard the man.
Look at them. All taken ill during the night or this morning.
What are their symptoms?
Fever, diarrhea, stomach pains, some vomiting.
Couldn't it just be food poisoning?
Yeah, poisoning, exactly. From meat supplied by those Hatton Cross bastards. This lot all ate beef that was given to us in the last trade.
Have you examined the meat?
No, I had it destroyed. Taking no chances anyone else might go this way.
Even if it is caused by that meat, it doesn't mean it's intentional.
I've had my suspicions about them from the start. This was a deliberate attempt to poison our people. Maybe even kill them.
There's no proof of that.
When one of our people dies, will that be proof enough?
If this is food poisoning, it isn't life-threatening. They need hydrating and rest.
We've got another trade with Hatton Cross this afternoon. We'll show them what happens when they try and pull something like this. I'll need some volunteers ready to get their hands dirty.
Okay. Me. I'll volunteer, whatever it is.
You?
Sure. I'm, willing to get my hands dirty.
No. Not you, I don't think so.
Worth a try.
That's Twyford, up ahead. Past the fields and the forest.
I'll circle the town centre to begin with and work outwards from there. If we see someone, I'll find a playing field or similar to land in, so we can go and talk to them.
They mightn't be friendly. Mr. Gillison wouldn't want us taking risks.
Well, how does Mr. Gillison think we're going to establish this network if we don't talk to each other?
From up here, it all looks so peaceful, like it was before. The fields, the greenery.
Now, those fields are our future. Green, plentiful and alive.
If there are any people down there, I wonder what they'll think, hearing a helicopter overhead for the first time in... hell was that?
We're being shot at! Hit the rotors! Hang on! We're going down! Whoever was shooting us could be here in minutes.
Nicely done getting us down, Greg. I thought we were dead.
Well, we still might be. Now move!
Fiona, are you hurt?
I think my arm's broken.
We need to get you out. Now.
I'll help her. Come on, Fiona.
You, Eddie, is it? You keep your eyes open and your gun ready.
Sure.
Daniel, hang on. I'll help you with Fiona. They're here. Move. Come on.
Eddie!
Dead. Look at him. Oh, don't hang about, Fiona. We need to go. This'll hurt. I'm sorry.
I've got you.
This bloody hurts.
We need to get to those trees.
Oh, that's 200 yards. There's no way I can run.
I'll support you. Come on.
Go!
Come on, you need to drink some water. Get this down. That's it.
How are they doing?
We're getting there. Making sure they're hydrated.
This could be any of us, couldn't it? If we'd eaten what they'd eaten.
Phil's gone to the kitchen to speak to the cook. He doesn't think this is just about some food that's gone off.
He thinks this could be deliberate. Gillison could be right.
If he is right, it's a horrible thing for someone to do.
Can I tell you something? I'm terrified of being ill or injured with no hospitals.
I don't blame you. We could do with a doctor in this place.
I'm scared too about being... I mean, if at some time in the future I was to become pregnant.
Jenny. Childbirth is something that nature has worked out long before we had hospitals and doctors and midwives.
But if there were complications...
Then we'd deal with them because we'd have to. And you may not know, but we've got 3 women here who are going to have babies, and of course they're worried. But I tell you what, you always got worried when you were pregnant, at times. I was worried when I had...
You had children?
Yes, I had.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's insensitive of me.
No, not at all. Boy and a girl. Joseph and Gemma.
Lovely names.
By a staggering coincidence, the 2 loveliest children in the whole wide world happen to be my little Joe and Gemma. How about that?
How about that, indeed?
Jackie, Jenny, I want you in the car park in 5 minutes. You're coming to the trade with Hatton Cross.
What about the patients?
Someone else can do that. You'll be gone an hour and a half at the most.
And why do you want us?
They'll be less suspicious if I have a couple of women with me.
Of all the sexiest...
Why would they be suspicious?
Car park. 5 minutes.
I don't like this.
No way.
It's okay. I've got you.
Move behind the trees and keep your heads down.
The shooting stopped.
There they are. Confident buggers strolling into the open like that.
Mean-looking bunch, aren't they?
They look upset. Maybe they expected to find supplies inside it. Let's get out of here while they take their anger out on the helicopter.
I could get a shot at them from here.
If they wanted us dead, they'd have come after us already. Now, shooting just gives them an excuse. So let's go.
1 minute. Fiona, we need to get your arm in a sling. Here. We'll use the rifle strap.
Quickly!
If you lot set off now, you'll get there well ahead of the meeting. Keep your heads down and wait for my signal, okay?
Aye, Mr. Gillison. We'll be ready.
Open the gates!
At last, a road. should be safe enough. If they wanted to come after us, would have heard by now.
Greg, Fiona's in a bad way. Look at her.
The pain's getting worse.
We need to stop.
Well, Twyford's not far. I can see the top of a church steeple. You two stay here. I'll go and find some transport.
Okay.
I'll be as quick as I can.
Sit down and rest.
God, this hurts.
Okay, that's the lot. 3 boxes of clothing and 3 of tinned food. Plenty. We'll go in convoy, the 3 vans. The lads will drive, they know the way.
But we haven't put anything in the other vans.
The Hat and Cross lot won't know that.
James, what's going on?
Oh, I wouldn't want to spoil the surprise, Jackie. Get in!
Greg's been gone a while.
I'm sure he won't be much longer.
Daniel,
Yeah?
thanks for looking after me, especially back at the helicopter.
My pleasure.
And I'm sorry if I sometimes... Well, I know I can be a moody cow.
No, not at all.
Liar.
All right, you can be, but it's okay.
You haven't paired up with anyone yet, have you?
Paired up? You mean like in a relationship?
Yeah, that.
No. No, I've not.
Me neither.
It's okay. It's Greg.
First car I found with a decent amount of petrol in it.
Oh.
Let's get you in, Fiona.
Oh. You don't need to tell me twice.
We should be here shortly.
Where are we?
Ashford Town Football Ground. Neutral territory. Well, that's the idea.
When are you going to tell us what's going on?
James, what are you looking at?
Get your head down! Out of sight!
There's someone on that roof. That's Bill Anderson.
And he got his head down just in time. Here they come. So punctual and so compliant. We're allowed 3 vehicles and 6 people, so are they. And they stick to it. You want to know what's happening? Bill's got a couple of other reliable sorts with him. When I say the word, they're going to start shooting.
James, no!
Not another sound from either of you. Your window dressing. Leave the talking to me, and when the shooting starts, keep your heads down. Best smiles, ladies. We're friends with these people. Remember?
There isn't a group in Twyford.
How can you be sure?
I drove around after I got the car. Didn't see one living soul. Then I found this, stuck to a lamppost on the high street.
What's this?
There were lots of them stuck up in the town centre, in prominent positions. Handwritten, all the same. Read it.
To whom it may concern. Nice to see the courtesies haven't gone out of fashion. There is nothing left here for you to take. Others have been here before you and taken it, even from our own tables. When they didn't believe how little we had, they hurt us and killed Sam. We've had disease, cholera, we think. Most of us have moved away. Mary and I decided to remain here at rest. The daily struggle is too much. We wish you well, but implore you to look elsewhere. This place is barren and cloaked in death. Signed, a friend. Bloody hell.
I wonder who Sam was.
The style's a bit florid, but the message couldn't be clearer. They tried to make a go of it there, and it ended very badly for them.
As badly as it could.
Towns, they aren't sustainable, and there's too much disease. When we get back, Jenny and I are leaving. And if you two have any sense, you'll get out of there too.
Here you go. As ordered. Clothing, woolens, cagoules, some Wellington boots, and tinned foods. A mix of meats and vegetables. More in the other vans, of course. Now, what have you brought us?
Like you asked. Some medicines. Over-the-counter painkillers, mainly. Some chickens and a side of beef.
Is it poisoned this time?
What?
The last side of beef you supplied us with has left 8 of my people in the infirmary. What did you poison it with?
I haven't any idea what you're talking about.
Well, of course you don't. Do you think I'm an idiot? Do you think I don't know your game?
What game?
James, they clearly don't know anything. Stop this.
Jack is right. They haven't done anything.
I thought I told you to. Not a word.
What's going on here?
If you think you can poison my people and get away with it, you've got another...
It's a trap! He's got gunmen on the roof! He's gonna kill you! Get out of here!
Phil! Everybody! Run!
Open fire! Now!
Stop this! Stop this madness!
Jackie, get down!
Stop! All of you!
Grab him!
James, what are you doing? What are you thinking? These people haven't done anything.
When the rest of their group learn about this, they'll run. We'll have their territory.
They wanted to trade food. James, they wanted to survive like us. I could... Oh!
Now, Jackie. No need for violence. Is there? And you, traitor.
What's in a name? I'm a traitor. You're a murderer.
Tie him up and put him in the van. He'll face judgment in front of the whole community.
Fiona, stay there and I'll fetch help.
Get it quickly.
Greg!
Jackie, Jenny, what's wrong?
You've got to come with me. They're putting Phil Bailey on trial.
On trial?
Greg, it's awful. Come quickly.
Daniel, stay here and look after Fiona.
Good luck.
I'll help you, Daniel.
Please! Please! A bit of quiet! Please! Some respect for these proceedings.
These proceedings? This is a farce.
You would know, of course. Officer, you would be familiar with the mechanisms of justice as they used to be. The judge in his high position, the jury of 12, guilty or not guilty. And I'll tell you what, even if you're guilty, we might let you off.
It was called proving guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
2 things. 1, you're guilty. I saw it myself. And 2, the old ways have gone. Gone for good. You know what justice is now? Do you? Do you?
Have you gone completely out of your mind?
Oh, Greg. Greg, hello. Did we find a helicopter?
Someone shot it down.
Shot down? Of course. Yet another example of the armed masses, the threat we face.
What's happening here?
What are you doing?
Your friend here betrayed us. His actions left 2 of our people dead and 3 seriously injured.
You're forgetting the 6 innocent people your gunmen killed.
Part of a group that deliberately poisoned our food.
I think you tainted that food yourself.
What?
I spoke to the cook. You visited the kitchen yesterday and sent her on an errand. You were alone in there for 20 minutes, she reckoned. Plenty of time.
You watch your mouth.
A few people in the infirmary, the story is, poisoned by food supplied by another group, and you ramp it up. Maybe they're trying to kill us. Only you went about it in a pretty shoddy way.
Shut up!
Good God. You actually did it, didn't you? If this was the old world, you would be so nicked right now.
Arrested? Really? But as you say, that would have been in the old world, the world that's gone. You wear that uniform, but it's a relic. There's no police now. You've no authority. You're like everybody else.
A good police officer never forgets he's like everybody else.
You are responsible for the deaths of 2 people! And you will be punished for that!
I've had just about enough of this circus.
Don't antagonise him, Phil. He's dangerous.
He's a spider, Greg. Sat in the middle of his web, snaring the flies that come too close. Looks inviting here, but then you wake up and you're wrapped in James Gillison's cocoon and there's no way out. And that's you, isn't it, Gillison? A big, fat, paranoid spider. And I've had enough of this.
Sit down. You are subject to judgment.
Your judgment, Gillison. Is that where we are?
Someone has to.
All of you. This man isn't your future. This man is your jailer. I'm leaving. And if you've got sense, you do the same.
Stop! I said, stop! I told you to stop! You should have stopped. But still, sentence executed.
That was murder.
These are not ordinary times. This is a different world. We are under siege here, and we have to be brave. We have to take the steps necessary to protect ourselves and our future. Some of those measures are unpalatable. But I say this. Anyone who threatens this community and its survival will go the same way as him!
Come on, Jenny.
I'm with you, Greg.
Stop!
We don't want any trouble. We just want to leave.
No. No one leaves. From now on, no one leaves.
Hello, I'm David Richardson. I'm the producer of Survivors.
I'm Matt Fitton. I'm the script editor for the series.
What's actually fascinates me is there are so many ways in doing that first episode over and over again, aren't there? I mean, you can actually revisit it.
You could have done 4 different first episodes,
yeah.
really.
Yeah. I think we decided that we wanted to also then have episode 2 as a bit of an introduction as well, didn't we? So rather than just introduce everything in the first episode, it's all spread over the first 2, and then we have that break in time, and then we've got our surviving new characters, and we bring in the characters from the TV show as well. So I think it really was an attempt to re-establish what Survivors was for people who might not have seen the original show, but then also remain quite true to the original show whilst being new and a little bit innovative with the format. It was great that we got Ian McCulloch and Lucy Fleming back to play their 2 characters.
Everyone, you should do as she says. Everyone, Greg.
Jenny and I aren't under your orders.
Nobody here is under my orders. You can do what you like. But it might be best if she thinks we're all one group. Also, this community of theirs is worth a look.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Relax.
Greg?
Well, we'll go along. For now, at least.
I'm Lucy Fleming, and I play Jenny Richards.
What's so special or different about us?
Who knows? It might be genetic, some sort of natural immunity, or maybe we're just lucky.
If you call this lucky.
You can't think like that. You just can't. We owe it to those who have died to go on living. The appeal of coming back was huge because it's a part that and a series that I loved when we did it in the early 70s. It was very much part of my younger life and I've been very fond of it ever since, and it's just lovely to be able to come back slightly older and have another go at bringing Jenny to life.
Hello, I'm Ken Bentley and I've directed Survivors. It was lovely to work with Lucy again. I'd had the great pleasure and opportunity to work with Lucy previously on Countermeasures, so I know she's lovely. I didn't realise when I worked with Lucy on Countermeasures that she was one of the leads in Survivors. So it was lovely when Survivors landed on my desk and David started to talk to me about it, to find out that it already came with a lovely human being attached. So it was delightful to work with Lucy again.
Greg!
Jackie, Jenny, what's wrong?
You've got to come with me. They're putting Phil Bailey on trial.
On trial?
Greg, it's awful. Come quickly! In the original series, I was always asking to get out more and ride about more and be out and about rather than just be a sort of mother to the children and domestic character, because I'm quite an outdoors person and I like horses and I like riding and get more involved in the action, which they let me do, which was great. So I think it's an interesting character who does evolve as the series goes on. We were always knee-deep in mud, as far as I can remember, because we used to film in, I think, sort of January, February, April time in Herefordshire, latterly in the series, or travelling about all over the place. And it was always pretty cold, so I don't mind being in a warm studio. And you can, so long as you can get the idea that you're out in the cold.
My name is Ian McCulloch, and I play Greg Preston.
Now, I want to see what there is around Heathrow.
Oh, well, if you say so.
Just think of it as a pleasant drive in the country.
Yes, we're just popping to the shops.
Second exit at this roundabout?
Yes, second exit.
Well, maybe I should speed up a bit. You want to get there before the shops shut?
Oh, it's all right. It's Thursday. It's late night closing.
I do think that it's written in a style that Terry Nation would have approved of, and I think it's very much fits in with the first series that he wrote. And as you probably know, I wasn't happy with the direction it took after he stopped writing. So, I mean, it's a pleasure to read something which sort of just seems to develop in the way that he does, and which is drama, and sort of holds your attention from beginning to end, as opposed to some of the things which we sort of subsequently did in the original Survivors, which I found very sort of dull and dreary and heavy going.
Quick, get out. Whoever was shooting us could be here in minutes.
Nicely done getting us down, Greg. I thought we were dead.
Well, we still might be. Now move!
And I think stuff like this, I mean, I think there are sort of countless films which are about sort of various sort of catastrophes that overcome the world and people have to look after themselves without, you know, the hardware of modern sort of civilization. It's probably, you know, something which is, you know, since people started writing, is something that they could sort of use and sort of affect people.
I think it's even more relevant in some ways. Self-sufficiency in some ways because of the cost of food and the way that food is now produced. But I think we'd be even more stuffed now with all the reliance we have on communication, with internet and email and mobile phones. I think people would be really struggling. I mean, not that we wouldn't have been struggling when we did it then, but there's so much more technology now.
When the first series came out, I was interviewed on the BBC. It was almost one of the first radio things I ever did. And it was an episode I'd just written, and the producer of the programme said, "Greg's a real romantic, isn't he?" And it had never actually crossed my mind that he was anything in the slightest bit a romantic sort of person. But I think he's sort of stubborn, he sort of wants his own way, he's sort of fairly dogged, he's determined, he doesn't run with the gang, he's an individual. It would be nice if he had a wee bit more of a sense of humour. And it was quite nice, and it's something which I've always liked about it, was that he did seem to be devoted to Lucy's character, to Jenny, which I found rather endearing.
The style's a bit florid, but the message couldn't be clearer. They tried to make a go of it there, and it ended very badly for him.
As badly as it could.
Towns, they aren't sustainable, and there's too much disease. When we get back, Jenny and I are leaving, and if you two have any sense, you'll get out of there too.
Ian, I'd never worked with before. Knew him from brushing up on my homework and watching Survivors on DVD. Wonderful actor, but lovely chap. You never know when you're working with somebody for the first time. And when somebody's coming in, Big Finish, great fun. We all come in and we enjoy ourselves. But sometimes I forget for people that haven't come in and worked for Big Finish before, what it might be like for them to come into an environment where everybody's already having fun and lots of people already know each other. That in itself, despite the fact it's a sort of warm and fun atmosphere, can be quite alienating if you don't feel part of that group. But Ian was great. He's a lovely chap. Came in, put his feet up, had a cup of coffee, rolled his sleeves up and got on with it. Had a lovely time. Probably helped by the fact that obviously he knew Lucy from having worked with her previously, so there was that connection already. But it was a lovely atmosphere.
We'll check out those shops and the supermarket we saw, and if there's nothing, we'll move on.
Yeah, as long as we don't come across anyone like Huxley and his thugs.
Amen to that. Come on.
Will the Land Rover be safe?
It better be. It's a long walk back to the Grange.
I think it's been interesting the way people have stayed with the series, and you know, younger audiences are finding them now on DVD and things like that. And it is a universal theme, I think, and while we were doing it, there was a lot of interest, and everybody had different questions about how to survive and what they would do when they survived. So I think Terry Nation, who wrote the original, had the original idea and wrote the original 6 scripts, he was onto something really basic.
It's one of those things that you're just amazed that things have such a long life and that people remember them, you know, have been influenced by them, have enjoyed them, have sort of wonderful memories of them, and you know, someone wants to produce them in another sort of, in a form of the media. You know, we've just had Survivors that was redone by the BBC, and then to find that someone actually wants to do something closer to the original and to do it in another sort of form of another medium is just sort of